Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And well, let's talk about the short term first. As I said yesterday, this will most likely turn into a much bigger ABC structure, meaning that right now we are getting the B wave, which should not really get above the first wave high right here. So we should stay below 66.8 cents if we want to say that this is actually an ABC structure. Like I said, the structure is not really that reliable because, Ethereum is still expected to go down, so it doesn't really matter what Cardano does right here because I think it will still drop if Ethereum drops as well. So yeah, it's not gonna matter what it does, but it is, at least important to know what's going on so we can get an idea of what might happen next. So right now we are in the early stages of a B wave, meaning that we're about to get the C wave after that, and we'll see if support actually holds. We could actually hold support while Ethereum drops, and the ADA Ethereum chart could actually go up during that time, so it is possible to do that. Now, are we going to do it? I don't know, but the support, the last support level is at 56.7 cents. Now I'm saying the last, but it's the last reliable support level because that's the 0.6181, and well, if we drop below that, there's gonna be another chance to bounce at the 54.2 cents level, but that's the last chance. If we get below that as well, we could be looking at some kind of triple bottom and get to the 0.786 support level again, maybe form some kind of low there and actually touch the support zone, and then we can get the bounce, or maybe just another low which could put us below the 0.618 support level of the main second wave right here. And that's all you need to know right now. Like I said, the Elliott wave count right now, it's not really that reliable and it could always break, and until we get back above the 200-day moving average, which is at 75.1 cent, then yeah, I'm not going to be able to confirm that, something bullish is going on, and we still need to get back above the bull market support band as well, and then to the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup for the third wave, which is at 86.9 cents. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this. And if you look at the RSI right now, it's going up quite a lot, and the price is not really doing anything spectacular, meaning that this could actually just be a fake out, and yeah, this is most likely turning into an ABC, and that's what you need to know about that. Now, moving on to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting to the bull market support band again, and I think there's gonna be another rejection because that's what Bitcoin usually does. It tests the bull market support band, gets rejected a bunch of times, and then at some point it gets back above it. Now in this video I want to talk about something entirely different, and I want to talk about the bear market scenario because I know many people in the comments are saying that we have started the bear market without actually watching the videos. So are we actually in a bear market right now? Well, it will depend on what Bitcoin does in the next couple of months. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you look at the monthly chart right now, we are below the moving average right here, and getting back above it is gonna be very important. As you know, or maybe you don't know, in the previous cycle, after we dropped below the bull market support, well, not the bull market support band, but the moving average on the monthly RSI, we stayed below there for a very long time. As you can see, in 2021, we actually dropped below that after we got the summer drop, or actually during the summer drop, and then we stayed below it and we never really got back above it. Yes, we did get to all-time highs again right here at the end of the year. However, this is also where we got rejected by the moving average, and that confirmed that the top was in. And yeah, the same thing could happen in this cycle. Here we dropped below the moving average and we got rejected by it. So what happens in this cycle if we get to the moving average and we get rejected? Well, it is possible to get to the moving average and still put in new all-time highs and get to like $130,000. However, it's gonna be very important to break back above it because, like I said, in the previous cycle, when we got below it and got rejected by it, that pretty much confirms that the bear market started. So it's gonna be very important to see what happens next year. And of course, the RSI on the monthly is currently at about 62 or so, and the trend line is at 67. So we kind of have to get at least above $100,000 to get to that level, maybe even like more, maybe like new all-time highs, maybe like $120,000. I don't really know, but we kind of have to break above it because, if you look at what happened in the past on the Bitcoin chart, it has always been above the moving average during the bull markets, with a couple of exceptions. For example, here in 2020, we slightly dropped below it because of the pandemic drop, but then we got back above it and we stayed above it until we actually had a break below it. And like I said, a break below it does not confirm that the top is in, but but it is a sign that the bear market could have already started and that we're actually very close to getting a top. So we'll see if we get rejected here or if we get back above it. If we get back above it, it could be extremely bullish because that could put us at RSI levels of about 90 or maybe 85. And if that happens, I mean, Bitcoin could even get to like $300,000 in this cycle. Now, is that going to happen? And is that still possible? Well, obviously it's still possible. I mean, Bitcoin has seen this multiple times in the past. It can go up a lot in a very short amount of time. So it's not really out of the question. However, you have to keep in mind that, like I said, if we do not break above the moving average here and we get rejected, I mean, you could actually say that the top is already in, but obviously I'm not going to say that yet because there's no reason to say that. We are still below it and we did drop below it. So maybe the situation that we are in right now is actually the situation that we were in 2020 where we had the pandemic drop here. Here we also had a couple of monthly wicks below the, trend line. So we'll see what happens. Now let's also look at 2017 so we can understand what's going on. And obviously there's not enough data to, say what could happen next. I mean, yes, we did have like 3 cycles, but that's not really enough to confirm what might be next. And I mean, maybe in 2021 we got rejected by the, moving average. Maybe in this cycle we'll not get rejected. I mean, and it could be extremely different. And as you can see from the chart, even though Bitcoin went up in a straight line, in the past 12 years or so, it did not go up the same ways every single cycle. So I think Bitcoin will still go up, but it will go up in a different way in the cycle. And so far it has done just that. I mean, obviously this cycle is different, but 2021 was also very different from 2017. And 2017 was also very different from 2013. So I don't really understand why people are complaining right now. There's not much to complain about. Now, looking at the RSI, like I said, here during the bull market, we stayed above the RSI for the entire bull market. And actually, after we got below it right here in January, that pretty much confirms that the bear market started. So here we were at about $5,000, down from about $20,000. And of course, when you see Bitcoin drop from like 20,000 all the way down to like 5,000, I mean, maybe it's safe to assume that the bear market has started. However, people were in denial back then, and I mean, as you can imagine, I mean, they still bought right here thinking that Bitcoin will recover and get to all-time highs, even though it would not have made that much sense. But I mean, in the long term, it was still fine if they bought right here and did not sell during the bear market when Bitcoin dropped to like $3,000 or so. They would have been just fine in the next couple of years after that. And maybe the same thing could be said right now. If you are looking for a long-term investment, I mean, this is not financial advice, but Bitcoin is probably the safest option in terms of crypto, obviously. And I mean, if you want to buy altcoins and hold them for the bear market, it's probably a bad idea, because if you look at Cardano, for example, it went down like 90% in the previous bull market. Well, actually not. It actually went down 99% here in the first bear market, I'm sorry. And in the second bear market, it went down like 90%. So obviously, if you want to hold something long term, I mean, the best option is Bitcoin. And if you want a bit more risk, then maybe, some altcoins are a better option. However, in my opinion, buying altcoins, I mean, the best time to buy altcoins is, well, when Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs. Whereas Bitcoin dominance right now, it's at cycle highs. So, I mean, right now I am stacking up some altcoins. I am buying something. Now, I'm not buying Cardano this time. I'm not buying Chainlink. I'm not buying VeChain. I already have all of these things. I'm actually getting some Ethereum because Ethereum is very close to bottoming. So I think in the next couple of months, and by the way, if it does not happen in the next couple of months, then in the next couple of years, Ethereum might give me a lot of return on investment. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Now, I read a comment asking me why I'm not buying Cardano. And well, because it's important to diversify your portfolio. You cannot just have one altcoin and hope that it goes to all-time highs, because, I mean, what happens when it doesn't, What happens when it just goes to zero? And, I mean, I'm not saying that Cardano is going to zero, but what if it does? And, I mean, you have to be prepared for everything. You cannot just put your eggs into one basket and expect things to go right. I mean, for some people, they do go right, but maybe it's not going to go right for you. And obviously the best time to buy altcoins, like I said, would be right now. Well, Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs, but as you can see, Cardano is not at cycle lows. So obviously the best time to buy was down here or down here, not right now. But Ethereum, I mean, if you want to get some Ethereum right now, it would be the perfect time to get it. And well, it is not really a risk. I mean, it is a risk asset, obviously, but the risk is much lower than, for example, Cardano. I mean, Cardano could literally drop to like, 40 cents in the next couple of days and then recover and get to like $5 in the next like 90 days or so. So the risk here is obviously higher, but on the Ethereum chart is obviously a bit lower. So yeah, I don't think we are in a bear market right now. I think Bitcoin is still doing what it always did, and that's going up. And well, if you are expecting something else from this video, you are not gonna get anything else because I said everything there is to know. And I mean, people in the comments are still asking me if, Bitcoin to $140,000, if that prediction is still valid. And I never said that it's not valid, so I'm not gonna repeat my predictions every single video because that would get boring really, really fast. So if I say something in a video and then I do not mention it in the next couple of videos, that's because I don't want to repeat myself every single video. However, that does not mean that the scenario is still not likely to play out, so I'm not gonna talk about it, but I still believe that it's possible, and I'm gonna mention it from time to time. Yes, I still think it's possible to get it, but I'm not gonna, like I said, talk about it every single video because it's gonna get repetitive extremely soon. So we'll see what happens with this, and I'm still waiting for the market to do something. I know the situation right now is extremely boring, but this is the perfect time in my opinion to actually get something. And if you are in the market to make money, I mean, I am in the market to make money and I am buying right now. So yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.